Hi, hello there. Today I thought we could talk about my most anticipated releases for the it's not how that word works. It's not how it works. My most anticipated releases for the first quarter of 2021. Now it's already January, but none of these have come out as of the day I'm recording this. So yeah, let's get into it. There are 11 books on this list. I have it separated into 3 different categories. I have my most anticipated. These are the ones I already have. Actually, 4 out of 5 in this most anticipated I already have pre-ordered. The next one I have my, what did I call it? Just anticipated. I did most anticipated, and then on my radar. So 5 most anticipated, 4 anticipated, just looking forward to them, keeping my eye out for them. You know, one of them I actually have pre-ordered as well. So ones I'm definitely interested in, just don't have copies coming in as of yet. Then the third category on my radar, there's only 2 books on it, just ones I'm interested in, not real enthused about, but you know, if I happen to stumble across it at the library, or you know, even though you can't really go to the library right now, I use the Libby app through my library, which is the digital downloads. If I stumble across it on there, I'll read it. Probably not gonna go out of my way to buy it, but we'll see how it goes. So let's just start on this, because there's 11 books. Might take a few minutes. Not gonna do descriptions for all of them, because that would take forever. So if you like talking about it, I will. Otherwise, I'm just gonna name it and move along. How's that sound? All right. So the first book on my list is A Vow So Bold and Deadly by Brigid Kemmerer. This is the 3rd and final book of her Curse Breakers trilogy. The first one was A Curse So Dark and Lonely, and then A Heart So Fierce and Broken, and then this one, A Vow So Bold and Deadly. I absolutely love the first 2 books of the series. Actually, whenever I first started reading it, I didn't really intend to be reading it. It was one of those books I just kind of stumbled across. I was really anti-retellings at the time, and the first one is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, but I wasn't real big into retellings. I was actively trying to avoid them, but I picked it up on a whim. It's kind of one of those things, and I absolutely loved it. And I loved it so much that I went ahead and pre-ordered the second book, which I liked even more. Like, it is a YA fantasy series, and I am kind of moving out of the YA genre right now, but it reads like a higher YA, almost a new adult. So really looking forward to the 3rd book. It comes out on January 26th. Pre-ordered, gonna open it probably as soon as I get it. Can't wait, know I'm gonna love it. Might do a whole vlog about it. We'll see. The second book on this list is The Mask Falling by Samantha Shannon. This is the 4th book in her Bone Season septology. She already pre-announced that it's going to be 7 books in this series. I have the first 3. Love them. Absolutely adore them. But she waits years in between these books, publishing them. I know that she needs time and she wants to make a good story, but man, I love these books and I hate waiting so long to read another one. And in between, I think it was between the Mime Order and the Song Rising, she'd also written The Priority of the Orange Tree, which is a big old chunker. Like, that one's over 700 pages, I think. So yeah, it's taken her a little while. But I am really looking forward to it. I love these stories. It's one of the, I have these pre-ordered as well. Actually, I have 2 editions pre-ordered. The first one is the Waterstones signed edition. Can't wait for that. And the other one, in the US, she is a British author, so we don't get a lot of her, special editions and stuff, but she did an agreement with indie bookstores here. So there are certain indie bookstores that are getting an alternate version of this. The original is kind of an orangey gold color with the emblem on it and then black accents. And then the special edition, indie edition for the US is black instead of the yellowish gold. And I ordered them both. I'm usually not really huge into special editions, but I love the Bone Season, so I needed that in my life. I just did. Actually, hold on, I'm gonna grab it. Actually, if you read Samantha Shannon, you will know This is the special edition of the third book, The Song Rising. It was whenever they changed the covers, they were, the first three, or the first two were all this colored background. And then for the third one, they decided to do a white background and change them all to white. And I hated it. Like, I just didn't dig it. So they did a special edition. If you pre-ordered, you have this purple one that's signed as well. She has a great signature in these books. I bet it takes her forever to sign them all. But yeah, I needed the colored edition. And like, these are the only books I really buy that are special editions. I don't know why, but I need the Bone Season in special edition, apparently. And that's just what we're doing. The third book on this list is not going to be a surprise to anybody. It is A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas, part of her Court of Thorns and Roses series. I own the first 4 books, or 3.5, if you want to call it that. I've recently reread all of them, except for A Court of Frost and Starlight, because that book is terrible. I just like to pretend it doesn't exist. Like, it does. We didn't need that. Didn't need that at all. But this fourth book, Court of Silver Flames, is focusing on Nesta and Cassian. Can't wait. Can't wait. Nesta's feisty. Cassian's feisty. It's going to be great. I'm going to devour it. Can't wait to read it. Pre-ordered that one as well. And it comes out, I didn't tell you, Mass Falling is January 26th. And then Court of Silver Flames is February 16th. So it's coming up real fast. I am going to devour that book as soon as it hits my doorstep. Oh, I can't wait. It's going to be so good. You know it's going to be good. Because if it's anything like A Court of Frost and Starlight, I'm going to be so sad. The next one is Bone Criers Dawn, which is the Bone Grace #2 by Kathryn Purdie. Now this is the only one of my top books that I don't have pre-ordered. I got the first one as an Owl Crate book. It's actually, where is it? Right there. Woo. And she's pretty, look. Gold sprayed edges. Oh yeah. Now, the reason I don't have the second one pre-ordered is usually if a Owl Crate book, like if it's the first of a series or whatever, if it does really well, they'll do a special edition of the second book. So I'm waiting to see if they end up doing that for this one. I mean, we're getting close to time. Like, it's supposed to come out March 30th. So we're close to time for it if they're going to announce it. But if they don't, I'll just get a regular copy. No big deal. I'm just waiting to see if they do one of that. I enjoyed it. It's a YA fantasy. It's, and you might say it's a typical YA fantasy, but I really enjoyed it. I read it during the pandemic in 2020, which is still going on, obviously, but I read it last year. And like, it was wonderful escapism. I absolutely love the escapism it provided me. So I'm going to read the next one. Hope I enjoy it as much. I have a feeling I will, because it's fun. It's a fun little YA fantasy. And I like it. And what else is there? The fifth one on my most anticipated list. It actually might be my most anticipated of the year. Like, I am hyped for this book. It is The Crown of Gilded Bones by Jennifer Armentrout. Jennifer L. Yeah, she uses the middle initial. Jennifer L. Armentrout. I love these books. This is the third one in her Blood and Ash trilogy. Oh my goodness. I stumbled across the first one. If you remember the first book, Blood and Ash, it was like a surprise release. She didn't do any kind of announcements or anything. Just one day it was suddenly available on Amazon Kindle and all. I didn't know that. I don't follow Armentrout, but like, I was browsing and I stumbled across it and I bought it because it sounded good. And it was I think it was my favorite book of the year of 2020. Actually, the second book in the series was my favorite, but until I read the second book in this trilogy, the first one was my favorite. They're so good. It is a new adult romantic fantasy, and they're so good. Like, yeah, it's full of tropes. It's, predictable, but I love it. And that's what matters. It can be full of tropes as it wants, as long as it makes me happy. I don't give a crap. Give me the tropes. Give them all to me. As long as you write them well, I don't care. But the third one is coming out April 20th. I have it pre-ordered as a Kindle edition because after they did the Kindle editions, they started doing paperbacks, and they cost a lot more than I would expect for a regular paperback to cost. And I'm not into that. Like, I will happily buy the Kindle edition. I want hard copies of these, but not for like $25 a pop for a paperback. That's I don't want to do that. That's a lot. But really, I cannot wait to read this book. I have a feeling it's going to be a 5 out of 5. I have been loving new adult romantic fantasy. I wish there were more. There aren't very many. Have you noticed that? I really need more. If you have any new adult romantic fantasy recommendations, let me know. I want to know. I love them. Give them to me. So those are my top 5 most anticipated. Next, we are going to my 4 just anticipated, my middle ground ones. We're going to start with We Free the Stars by Hafsah Faizal. This is the second book of her Sands of Arawiya. Arawiya? Pretty sure I'm saying that right. Sands of Arawiya trilogy. The first one was We Hunt the Flame. Excellent book. Another one I read right at the beginning of the pandemic. It was great escapism as well. Highly recommend. I have this one pre-ordered. It was different than a lot of the fantasies I've read. I'd say it's high YA, like low new adult in the reading range. But you know, you've got adventure, you've got some romance, you have unexpected, you've got magic. You know, it's a fun book to read. Like, that's all I need in my life. I just want fun. Is that so bad? I want fun books. I want books that make me happy. I want books that make me sad. I just want books that make me feel something, and I prefer happy. So, looking forward to that one. That one comes out on January 19th, which as of right now is next week. I can't wait to read it. I hope my pre-order actually arrives on time. With the way the mail's going, I very much doubt it, but I have high hopes. The next one on my list is A History of What Comes Next by Sylvain Neuval. We're gonna go with Neuval. It's the History of What Comes Next series. It's out on February 2nd. I remember when I found this book and added it to this list, I was super excited about it and thought it sounded fantastic. But right now, off the top of my head, I don't remember what it's about. Knowing me, it's probably something fantasy related. A history of what comes next. Maybe alternate history. I don't know. Maybe I'll look it up again afterward. But I was really excited about it when I put it on this list. Probably should have remembered what it was about, huh? Either way, I want to read it, and I will. Watch me. The next one, also in my anticipated list, is the only historical fiction we have on here, actually. An Unexpected Peril by Deanna Raybourn. It is the sixth book in her Veronica Speedwell Mysteries series. I love these books. Like, they're just wonderful. Veronica Speedwell, it's a Victorian setting. Veronica is a woman making it on her own during this time when obviously women are super duper oppressed and not allowed to do anything or make any decisions on their own. And it's fun. There's an underlying romantic aspect that's actually really interesting. The mysteries, I never figure out the whodunits. I never do. I'm really bad at that, which is probably why I enjoy reading mysteries, because I can never figure out what's going on. But they're fun. They're interesting. Veronica is really a fascinating character. There's also a lot of witty, I said that really hard, witty. A lot of witty banter in these books, and it's great. Like, I enjoy them. They're wonderful. I own most of them. I think they're out of shot now. They're kind of right here. They're hanging out there. Great series. Love it. Can't wait for the next one. I haven't even read the description yet. I'm just gonna read it. I don't care what it's about. It's my thing, and I'm gonna read it. Next, and the last one on my anticipated list, is Malice by Heather Walter. This is out April 13th, and from what I understand, it is a Maleficent retelling. Now, I don't know about you, but that sounds exciting. Makes Maleficent perhaps into a more sympathetic character. I actually have an arc of this. I haven't read it yet because I'm waiting until we get a little closer to publication for it. But it sounds like a good book. I'm interested in it. I'd love a Maleficent retelling. She's one of the great... The only Disney villain I can think of that I actually like, and I really like villains, but Disney does not do them well, in my opinion. But I love Maleficent. I think it's going to be great. I can't wait to read it. And, you know, I'm probably going to read it soon. It's sitting over there on my Kindle waiting for me to gobble it up, and I will. Number 10 on this list, yes, we are already at 10, is Kristin Cashore's Winterkeep. It is the 4th book in her Graceling Realm series. It's also out January 19th. Now, of the Graceling realm, there's the first one, Graceling, second one, Fire, third is Bitter Blue. Now, I've read Graceling, really enjoyed it, good book. Oh, it's an early 2000s fantasy. Nothing wrong with that, it's really good. I also have read Bitter Blue, the third one. You don't need to read them in order, it's no big deal. The third one, Bitter Blue, which is it was my favorite book for several years. I absolutely love it. I started reading Fire and DNF'd it. So yeah, I really didn't like the main character in that one is actually named Fire, and she is not interesting at all, and the male lead in it was just pissing me off, so I'm not gonna finish it, and it's that simple. But I'm interested in Winterkeep. I'm not really not positive what it's about, but I loved 2 of the other 3 books in the series, so you know, maybe if I see this sitting in the library, if we're ever allowed to go back to the library, or you know, on the Libby app or whatever, I'll grab it and read it and see what it's about. But I trust Kristin Cashore's writing for the most part to at least be entertaining, so we'll see how that goes. The very last one I have some bitter feelings about. Otherwise, it would be higher on this list. It is Everything That Burns by Gita Trelease. It is the second book in her Enchanté series, due out February 2nd. I didn't do it on here. I used to be only blogging, book blogging. Still rather new to this booktube thing. But on my blog a while back, I did a whole post about this. Gita Trelease and her publisher decided to change the names of the books in this series, and it gives me some rage. The first one was called Enchanté, fits the story really well. It's a great fantasy. It's kind of slow-moving historical fantasy set during the, not the Renaissance, what's the word? The French Revolution. That's what I'm going for. It's really interesting. I love it. I enjoyed the magic system. I enjoyed the characters. Like, there was a lot of atmosphere to it. It was a really good book. And I've been looking forward to the second one for a while, which was originally called Liberte. So we had Enchanté and Liberte. You know, since it's set in France, in, you know, the Paris area, that makes a lot of sense, right? And it goes with the story. You know, they changed the titles of the book. I don't remember what they changed the first one to. No. I take that back. The first one, which was originally Enchanté, they changed to All That Glitters. And the second one, which is right now Everything That Burns, was Liberte. I've got some bitter feelings about it. I don't understand why they changed the titles. This book would be higher on my list if they hadn't fucked around and done that. But I'm gonna end up reading it. I know I'm gonna end up reading it, but right now I'm really angry about it. So there's that. I probably will even end up buying it, let's be honest. But I hate the new title. Why did they do that? Enchanté, Liberte. Like, they sound good. It has a lot to do with the story. Like, it made sense. But no, they had to Americanize and dumb it down, and it just pisses me off. Why do we do that? But yeah, those are my 11 most anticipated books of the first quarter of 2021. I will try and do, you know, maybe second quarter book thing, one of these. But usually during this like late spring, early summer, there's not a lot of books coming out that really spark my interest. And I get into a huge book slump, reading slump anyway. So we'll see what happens. But as of right now, those are what I'm looking forward to most. First quarter of 2021. Did I miss one that you think I'd like? Is there a book you're really looking forward to that isn't on this list? Feel free to let me know. I've never had a comment before. It'd make me feel good if I got one. But if you feel like subscribing, do so. If you don't, I don't care. Go on your merry way. But have a good day, and I'll talk to you soon.